Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon everyone. I'm Putri Intan Oktapiani and welcome to Morphology class. In this session, my friend Rismadu Aryanti and I will discuss about onomatopoeia. Before we start, let me introduce my group members. There are Rismadu Aryanti, Adi Dahidni Fauzia, Salpia Putri, and the last Kaiska Skarkanaya. So, what is onomatopoeia? Onomatopoeia is a figure of speech in which words evoke the actual sound of the thing they refer to or describe. For example, the boom of a firework exploding, the tick-tock of a clock, and the ding-dong of a doorbell are all examples of onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia has a few distinct variants. First, real words that sound like real things. Second, real words made to evoke the sound of real things. Third, made up words that sound like real things. And the last, fourth, a series of letters that mimic a raw sound. Okay, first, real words that sound like real things. This type of onomatopoeia, which we'll call conventional onomatopoeia, uses words whose own sound evokes the sound of real things. The word meow, which sounds just like the sound a cat makes when it actually meows, is a classic example of conventional onomatopoeia. This is by far the most common type of onomatopoeia. Next, second, real words made to evoke the sound of real things. In this rare type of onomatopoeia, a word or series of words is used to imitate a real word sound, even though the words used don't mimic that sound themselves. Perhaps the most famous example of this type of onomatopoeia is Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Bells, in which Poe repeats the word bell 62 times to evoke the sound of a bell ringing and tolling, even though the word bell itself doesn't itself sound like a bell ringing. Third, made up words that sound like real things. Made up words can fill the void when no word exists to sufficiently capture the nuances of real word sound. For example, when James Joyce needed a word to convey the sound of someone knocking on a door, he invented "tat-tat-tat-tat." Today, almost 100 years after he coined it in writing his novels Ulysses, "tat-tat-tat" has become a legit word. It's in the Oxford English Dictionary.
The next one is a series of letters that mimic a raw sound. Sometimes onomatopoeia involves no words at all, as in examples like z to represent the sound of sleeping or snoring, and hatu for a sneezing sound, or toot toot to convey the scolding sound we make to express disapproval. The next is utilized for onomatopoeia. The first one is to create new words. Some onomatopoeic words mean nothing beyond the sound that they are imitating, but some onomatopoeic words are used for so long or so closely match a real sound that they begin to be used to describe that actual thing that is making the sound in the first place. For example, slap. This sounds just like the sounds of skin hitting against skin, and it's now also the word people use to describe the act of hitting someone, usually in the face. The next is kako. This word so closely imitates the sound of a particular bird that people decided to use it to name the bird itself. The third is to name things. Some things are named for the sounds they make. For example, a zipper. And the fourth is to create more expressive poems and creative writing. Writers use onomatopoeic words to create different feelings and moods in their writing, or to more accurately describe a scene. The next is, what time can we use onomatopoeia? We can use onomatopoeic words whenever we're trying to describe a sound. use it in our writing to describe a scene, setting, or even more clearly, and use it in our everyday speech to talk about sound we have heard. The last one is how to identifying onomatopoeia. There is no definitive test for whether a word qualifies as onomatopoeia. Some words like meow and buzz are clear examples of onomatopoeia because they're like transcription of sounds spelled out in letters. But other onomatopoeic words are subtler, such as the words throbbing and moaning, which appear in the Edgar Allan Poe poem, The Bells. Does the word moan sound like someone moaning? Does throb sound like a heart beating? Kind of, but not obviously so. So that's all of our presentations. Thank you for attention and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.